Let me welcome you to Abuja this morning. My name is Mwabo Zenjok. Let me also thank our colleagues in Enugu who have been hitting it hard since early morning today. This is Signature Morning coming to you from our Enugu studio. And this morning, let me tell you what happened on the 25th of August in Abuja. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, held its 107th National Executive Council meeting. And they came out with a resolution that has not become contentious, but it is getting tongues wagging and getting some of their members issuing statements and taking positions rather contrary to the outcome of that NEC meeting. The NEC decided that the presidential ticket of the PDP in the 2027 election will go to the South. A very strong position. But some members of the PDP have come out to say that decision cannot stand. One of their presidential candidates, presidential hopefuls, presidential contenders for the ticket, says he already has a petition in his hand, which is taken to the November Congress of the PDP, elective Congress of the PDP, that will be taking part in a battle. And he says the constitution of the party doesn't contemplate that the NEC will usurp the authority of the National Convention to determine where the ticket will go. In the course of this conversation, we will raise how this very factor has turned the PDP right in the middle. PDP zoning its ticket to the South and matters arising. That's the issue this morning, and my guest is a PDP strategist, Otumba Shegu Shomi. Otumba, you are very busy with your phone. It appears that you want to connect back to the national headquarters of your party. But first, you are welcome to the program, Otumba.
It's a pleasure. Good morning.
You are welcome.
Veteran, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Well, within the context of what we are all experiencing as Nigerians and what we are...
Before we came on live,
it's okay.
I was telling you about this weather, rather cold. Can't you hear me sound like a broken cymbal?
Don't you think we should even thank God we are lucky? Some nations are dealing with wildfires on a scale they've never seen. Some nations are dealing with typhoon. Some nations are dealing with earthquake. If we have to manage only rain, and we should thank the man at the
Let's thank the God.
We should thank the man in the heavens.
Isn't it? We should be doing that. Yeah. Now, Otumba, in the 2023 election, the Congress of the PDP towards that election, one of the contending issues was zoning. Nyesom Wike, then governor of Rivers State, former governor of Rivers State, had said by the constitution and understanding within the party, the presidency goes up and comes down. And that Buhari was just finishing his 8 years. Morally speaking, the presidency should head back south. And he contested. And he lost to Atiku Abubakar. Since then, there has been no peace in the PDP.
Well, okay, that's the public optics of it.
Please, can we know the real issue?
The real issue is that this democratic dispensation commenced in 1998 and, produced the exit of the military in 1999.
Yes.
The parties that were registered at the beginning, APC, no, AD,
yes,
slip of tongue, AD,
okay.
PDP,
yes, please,
and APP.
Yes, please.
They were the ones that commenced the process of this multi-party democracy, so to say. All of the other parties, AD, APP, have morphed many times over. PDP has retained essentially its colors, its pure of line and all that. You see, what that tells you is that after about a quarter of a century or more, you have to expect that if they do not interrogate their own processes, review their underpinnings that drives their whatever, especially having lost, it was only a matter of time before whatever it is that you call the issue will show up. If it didn't show up as a catalyst of Wike and his friends,
yes,
it would have shown up as a catalyst of Atiku and his friends. It would somebody
somehow
give it whatever name. There would have been that X that was going to speak to the fact that you cannot but reform
and reinvent yourself.
Proudly, I had been screaming this since 2011. I did not magically become aware. In 2011, I had become the Director General of the Goodluck Sambo, that's the Jonathan Sambo election for 2011. You know, the president, we lost him.
Yes.
Jonathan succeeded in finishing that, but he did one term. In the process of being that Director General in Ogun, it fell on me to manage the process that would get us to that election. As we tumbled into it, I began to see the fault lines. Is this how
within the party?
Yeah, is this how we are? Is this what we're doing? This is dangerous. The best of skills was put to make sure that that election produced a successful outcome from Ogun. Even though all the others lost, Bankole, the speaker lost, the Obasanjo lost, everybody else lost, the governor lost, everybody lost. But the president, by the grace of God Almighty, and some other day I can tell you what happened, he was able to get those numbers. But notwithstanding those numbers, I started to ring the bell. Code red. This party can't continue like this. But because the president Jonathan won at that time, they assumed
all was well.
That it was well. By the time he started trying to do the 2015 election, which we now lost, blessed memory, may your soul rest in peace. One of my very good friends is South African. About 2 years before that election had said to me, he's a strategy person and communication, say, Shagun, you guys are going to lose. He wrote 2 years before, why? Said, you're going to lose. Okay, I said, why are we going to lose? I'm not going to tell you, but you're going to lose. About a year before, I ran into him again. He said, my friend, I know you're doing so much. You're one of the best in your state, in the whole, strategy is no strategy. You're going to lose. I started begging him. Okay, can you teach me what we need to do so we will not lose? Can you show me how to do it so they will not lose? Can you show me the flags that is making you say we are the president, we are sitting in the villa, we have said you're going to lose. He then said, I'm not going to teach you how to do it, or how to read it, or how to design the playbook until after the act. When we got close to when the campaign now started, and I started saying, oh my God, we're going to lose. I started pressing the button, meeting the hammer. Oh, blessed memory had been clapped. You need to come back. But campaigns are like a train, a very high-powered fast train. Whatever you don't do before you set the train in motion, it's very difficult to maneuver the train once it has moved. Anyway, we lost. I went to London because I was very sad. I don't know why I was even sad. I was not in their government. I was not in contact with them just because of the way I felt, political parties. After I came back from the UK, I then saw my friend. He's late now, he's so rest in peace. And I said, okay, tell me, why were you able to pinpoint it to that level and what was the issue? He then invited me to a meeting. We had a meeting in Ghana. He then opened up his laptop and commenced the process of teaching me how to do what you call a picture perfect descriptive analysis that allows you to say this is the outcome. You know what I saw? I saw that our party had become like a big elephant, but with very thin legs. And what I saw was that, unfortunately, it's not that it was their fault. It was the challenge of how they came into being. The military wanted to leave, and they had signposted and made up their mind that Obasanjo, their man, was going to be helped, and the party that gave them, the PDP, was going to be. So they were the ones that did the hard work for us. Then Obasanjo came into power, being the kind of human being he is. He was the one that bullied us to continue to be relevant and in power. Then Obasanjo wanted to leave, started screaming, it's a matter of do or die, and got us Yar'Adua. Yar'Adua, who could have maybe, because he died, so we can be living, who could have gotten us back to the board, because at least he admitted that the election was not fair, unfortunately died. Then we came into the hands of a reluctant politician who was just minding his business, and they kept moving him until on the orchard of luck he became president. Jonathan, to his credit, tried to do a lot of policy, but for the country. Ironically, our doomsday came and we lost. So if you want to blame Wike, if it makes you happy, blame him. If you want to blame Atiku, if it makes you happy, blame him. What size of blame do you reserve for Obasanjo, who in the first instance, being the first person to be president under that platform, who should have understood that the life and times and the wellness of PDP was a life creed for him? He tore his card. If you want to blame him, blame him. Where do you reserve the blame for the founding father, the one you like to call the architect, or the, if you like, the owners of the Nigerian real estate, the Babangidas and they watch and they blame them? So the point I'm making, my dear friend, is that yes, these are the symptoms. You are looking at the surface. You didn't look deep, and I have tried. Honestly, I have. With due respect, I have. Every one of them that I thought could be persuaded to have a rethink, from Bukola Saraki to Atiku, we are all creatures of habits. And so the habit has come. Now you are now telling me now that, okay, PDP should respect the principle of the pendulum, right? Yeah. Which is when power goes to the north, it stays for 8 years, then it comes to the south. I understand that is our unique way of balancing and keeping our country together. But the question is, the deep question is, can a political party in real sense pretend that it does not have the gumption to know where the population advantage for victory lies part time? And shall a political party, in the true essence of the word, not understand that there could be a zoning advantage to its rival, which may not be advantageous to it? Then shall a political party say it wants to do equity, if it pretends it wants to do equity? Shall that party not know where the equity challenge is? That was my issue in 2023. I kept saying, and you know, with due respect, former governor of Delta State, Okowa, has himself to blame for this. He was the one who convened a meeting in Delta under the concept of Southern Governors Forum, and they made that pronouncement. The next day in the morning, I rushed to TVC, I think, and maybe I rise on one of those. I said, no! You can't tie PDP to the zoning needs of our rival. They have been in the north for 8 years. They have no choice but to go south. We have been in the south for such a long time. We had the south of 8 years of Obasanjo. We had the south of almost 5 or 6 years of Jonathan. We are losing the place where numbers come. We don't owe them the same zoning. In any case, all the years when we were doing north and south, they kept standing on the same spot. Why? Anyway, it didn't work. And then I then added the caveats. I can remember clearly. I added the caveat. I said, okay, In that case, if you want to say this, that okay, PDP too will go south, then we have a bigger burden. Our own equity must be southeast. For we have done southwest. In the imaginary manner, we have done south-south. What are we going to say to the geese that has been laying the golden egg? I shouted, I screamed. I spent an obscene amount of energy, time, passion, energy to go and find Peter. I can tell you now. He did not even want to, he was so reluctant to buy the form. At the point he said, he cannot even go and tell the Waziri. I said, okay, well, you can't tell him, I'll tell him. To God be the glory about the form. I warned him, my brother, I warned him. This playbook cannot be rushed because of our history, which cannot be erased. Your pathway in 2023, not now, before people say I'm saying you should do it now, you must try to be the vice of that man, for he will naturally become, it will be clear to the world what you can do, because you'll be sitting in the office of the Economic Council, and more than likely some of these things you talk about, we can experiment, because talk is cheap. And it will make it easy for people to have more confidence, given our history of civil war, the kind of unnecessary rivalry and stupid anger that the tribes are exhibiting among themselves, and you're leaving your children to be doing it. Okay, long story short, he found himself in another party, Labour, and he tried. He harvested national anger of everybody, harvested whatever he could harvest, but an outcome came and we saw the numbers. After he lost, I went to him again. So my brother, okay, whatever the case may be, the world has seen. Now you have to answer two questions. One, do you want to run again? Because this is a heavy load. You would have seen how heavy the load is. If you want to run again, the only other question on the table for you is you need to determine the platform quickly. Don't worry yourself about others. Just pick a platform now and stand there. And let us find 36 smart, equally passionate people who want to be governors. Don't worry about the old order. We put them under this your effort, and by the one that owns the world and the one who understands, who teaches, you will have that spread of 25% in the minimum across board. And you yourself, if we continue to feed this your energy and begin to manage it, it will only get better, because you see these old ones, they're going to confuse themselves. They are only used to it. He didn't listen. When he was jumping here, I went there again. You are going, you know, I even said, do you know what you have done to the Indigos already as it is? You have gotten them back their pride. Don't dilute it. Never mind. For you to go on a journey of this nature, you have to first of all accept defeat before you work for victory. If you don't do it that way, defeat will make you so scared. What is there to be afraid of? Look,
okay.
The point is that, let me like this one sentence. The point is that we have found ourselves in an unusual mess with this democracy. And it will require painstaking, smart, sensible, and moderate effort. First of all, to save the democracy, and more importantly, to save the delicate, fragile nation we call Nigeria. And it was when I saw that, okay, what else can I do? I started a movement called The Alternative, running around the whole country. Sir, well, I deserve the national award.
We'll come to that. Now, the issue is that the PDP seems, at least looking at the symptoms, because you say this is symptom that definitely PDP would have had a challenge one way or the other.
Yes.
Because it didn't look at the fundamentals and saw how things were shifting against it. Now, one of the symptoms is this pendulum.
Yes.
By now taking a clear decision on it, has the PDP attended to a major distraction?
No, I think that by this decision to go south,
Yes.
at least they have recovered and they have begun to find a way back to the kind of Nigerian institution that they are. In due respect, the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria is a Nigerian institution created by Nigerians, owned by all Nigerians who identify with them, and can never or will never or must never be seen as a fiefdom of an individual. To that extent, it's a good decision. Now that they have taken that decision, in my opinion, if they like, they listen, if they like, they don't listen, we must now painstakingly begin to work it out, knowing fully well that political parties are not designed for the victory at the next election alone.
No.
However they want the victory at the next election, they must accept the reality that sometimes the law of the ground in the country may not produce that outcome. The crudity of our politics may not produce that, but it doesn't matter. They must understand that political parties are designed to outlive
election.
No, outlive even the players of today,
Yeah.
and be passed on as a battle, a platform, an institution, an idea for all times. Now, if they take that big view, then they will be able to smartly adjust it. At the point I told them, you can't solve this problem. I can't solve it. I said, okay, if you are bringing the chairmanship to the south, let me be chairman. There's nothing in the chairmanship of PDP that excites me so much. The presidency of Nigeria is more interesting. But I knew that not diagnosing the problem well will not make them apply the right solution, and the outcome will be frustration. Unfortunately, unlike before, when we were the only pan-Nigerian party, our rivals are now pan-Nigerian.
Yeah, alternative.
See, our rivals are also pan-Nigeria. We have created a scenario in the country where, whether we like it or not, the APC, because of the effort of mainly two men, may the soul rest in peace continuously, and may the grave be easy for him, the former president and the present one, managing and tightening and all that, and other players too at lesser level. They've created a pan-Nigerian party. If they are not careful, our rival, that's the APC, if they are not careful, they may implode it after this man, because Buhari's gone now, nobody's putting them together in the north before. If they are not careful, they will use their childishness and, you know, in unnecessary anger. If I don't have my way, highway, they will implode it. The PDP, if they are careful, may evolve and do what you call a leapfrog. A leapfrog that carries away from the morass of a time that they could have easily been firm and decisive, and they may now,
begin to shape up.
They may shape up, but they can only shape up if they are not trying to.
There's one.
If they are not trying to cheat themselves.
Yes.
Because men like to be smart.
Yeah, there are two issues when you say cheat or even undermine their own very purpose. Is the Bauchi State Governor,
Okay.
Bala Mohammed,
Okay, good man.
has come openly
Good man.
and said, I drop anything presidential ambition
Good man.
because the party is more important than my personal ambition. Let us reinvent the party.
Absolutely.
However, Hashim Olawepo
When did you come back to the party?
has issued a very strong statement.
Okay, so now
Just because we have to hear him.
oh
Must hear
yeah,
him. And he's coming from both constitution and law. He said the People's Democratic Party had no anticipation that people would be denied the opportunity of determining from where or who is going to be their flag bearer. That the National Executive Council of the party had overreached itself, that only the National Convention has the power and authority, and that he has a petition in his hand heading to Ibadan in November.
Okay.
to challenge this outcome?
Thank you. I know Olawepo is my friend. As a matter of fact, in 1998, before the parties were formed, Olawepo, myself, Ayo Thomas, and a few others, who were the young people of that time, who could have insisted, because they offered it to us, that they should register a party for young people after when they were starting. I had said at that time, no. We have not learned anything about managing democracy. The only thing we know is luta continua and the military.
Activism.
And that activism may undermine the growth of this democracy. I know Alapo well. In those 20-something years, I've been standing in the PDP. Where has he been? Okay, suddenly, he wants to be back. Yes, the party is a free joiner, free entry organization.
And free exit.
Yes, people are exiting and coming. I think we need to do something about that. But if Alawepo says that he does not understand, he does not accept that zoning, the first problem I will ask him is that in what capacity is he going to be making that position? Because I know it's his gravitas up to the gravitas of a NEC that set up a zoning committee.
But it says the Constitution says.
Just let me be helping you, because whatever I say in the Constitution, please. He doesn't have the gravitas to undermine a NEC committee that has given approval for them to set up a zoning committee. He doesn't have that gravitas. When the zoning committee has now been set up, and they said they are putting the presidents, they have done an assignment. I don't know whether they did it well or didn't do well. Don't ask me about that. And they said they want to put the presidency in the South. They have only made a report. It is the duty of the working committee and maybe at the convention to take a decision whether they are going to ratify it in situ, in toto, or they are going to make some marginal adjustment. We will not have a political party that is going to be perpetually being held down by anybody who wants to talk. We are just about now getting ourselves out of the long-drawn challenge of post-2023, which people have called the wicked problem or the dark problem or the big problem. And to make it easy for the party and even for the Nigerians, I'd always be using the phrase, none is all good, none is all bad, so that they can find the middle ground. I think Olawepo may have a point, but I think that point will be very weak. I am not happy that in a hasty pronouncement, they said it the way they said it. I would have preferred, I would have couched it differently, because you don't have the powers, no political parties has the powers to prevent people from enjoying the benefit that the Constitution of the country has granted them. It is the constitutional right of anybody at any time to say, I want to be president, which does not require or does not respect your zoning. But if we say as a political party that we are going to zone, we have not prevented people from buying the form. When we start selling form, please come and buy. You will have the list of delegates, engage them. The delegate primary system is the first democratic experiment of political party. So if we say we are zoning south, yes, if you are in Northern, you can go and buy. You can try your luck, but you may not succeed. And don't come back and start saying you were not treated fairly. The party tried to avoid what they consider to be the mistake of 2023 by leaving it open, which then became the basis by which people were angry. Now the party has said it's zoning its presidency to the South. It is for the party to stick to his idea. And let me advise, the Supreme Court verdict judgment that has come is very clear.
Very clear.
It is the responsibility, the right, and the full authority and the gravitas of the political party to determine how it wants to run. So the minority will have their say. By the grace of God Almighty and good conscience, the majority will have their way. So I thank Olawepo. My brother is my friend. Last time he was in another party, 2 weeks ago, he said he's going to be disturbing the party. I don't know what those. Political parties. The political parties is a free joining organization. That does not mean that the political party ought to be a weak organization. A political party cannot be laissez-faire, everybody dragging it. No! Freedom, if not carefully managed, only produces chaos. Parties are to create not just their constitution. There's something they also call the operational manual. When you create, constitution is supposed to be a very small document of intention. It is in the operational manual that you now do the engineering work of stabilizing political parties. But hey, men cannot give what they don't have.
Anyway, Olawepo has had his say, and he said it within his rights.
It is within his right to even say that the presidency should be zoned to him.
Thank you very much.
It is his right to say that.
He won't have committed any offense.
No, nobody has said this. Listen, did you hear me use the word offense?
No.
I said a political party cannot allow itself to perpetually be put in crisis non-stop. When a political party is trying to get out of its previous challenges, it should not easily and happily give itself open, because otherwise, and then let me even add, before you leave this, if we say the PDP is the University of Democratic Dispensation and Politics in Nigeria, we are not wrong. We are the only political party that has conversations around political issues and democracy. Look, our rivals have removed how many chairmen in the last how many years? Have you seen them make PIM? Are there no human beings there? Are the human beings there not having tongues? So if you see that the PDP is open, it can accommodate opinion, it can take ideas, it can it's just because it's democracy. There is nothing in other parties that make them autocratic that ought not to be here. After all, we were the one who had the president who went to eat pandemia in somebody's house and removed. So don't think that our idea that let's just thing breathe, let people have their, it should not be our Achilles heels. And the only way to make it not to be our Achilles heels is to get people who understand how to build systems to lead or manage or interfere or support parties if they have the intention to do so. People are only playing to their selfish desire.
I want to tell you what has happened a little bit.
Okay.
David Mark, who is the chairman of ADC, is a product of PDP.
Who is not even the one that is Senate president in APC is not a product of PDP.
Atiku Abubakar is a strong pillar of PDP.
Atiku Abubakar has had the particular unusual reputation of moving around too much.
Atiku Abubakar seems to have been a factor in the crisis, the symptom you say I'm seeing.
The symptoms, yes.
Of disagreement over this pandemic.
I had said it on another platform.
Thank you.
That it seems to me, when they did that make and they started that process, I said it seems to me that the PDP has survived the first stroke occasioned by the G5 and Wike. It now remains to be seen whether they will survive the second stroke now occasioned by Atiku Abubakar. And what do I mean? You see, I have depth on these issues. I've been here since the very get-go. When we manage to get to the point where we are now having NEC and all of that, it is not hunky-dory, but we survive the first stroke, G5, although we cannot do meeting, we cannot that. Now that Atiku Abubakar has carried himself and a lot of people and a lot of energy into another movement called this, I've not seen him register. I've been told this. I don't know whether he has registered, but at least he's promoting that idea. That's another stroke for PDP. You know why? Because the people they are going to mainly pouch are PDP followers. And if we can't stop it because it started, if the PDP can survive that stroke too, then I can guarantee you, if the Lord Jesus Christ tarries, it will meet PDP on earth. Don't be deceived. Do not expect that all these challenges you see PDP having, it's going to help you to build resilience. By the time they say, "Oh, let's go and vote," PDP will produce a candidate. Others too will produce. The Nigerian people who have the right to determine who they want to vote will go and do what they can do. But PDP would have survived. And if it is what we are seeing from off-season election or the previous election, we at least know that PDP may not or may not win the APC in the next election, but we know those that cannot defeat the PDP. The only organization in Nigeria today as a start that can defeat the People's Democratic Party in the natural election is the APC. Every other one will be coming either second, third, or fourth. So if they like, they can be playing and be pretending as if one person's ambition is bigger than the stability of the country or even the survival of the party. It's their business. But I would suggest, if they are serious and they want to really be serious and not waste all our times, whatever it is that they are calling coalition today, they should grab coalition back into the mother party, the PDP, because the People's Democratic Party has the lie on the ground at the rural areas and in the wards and in people's houses that just some stimulation and some effort, they will be able to gravitate and galvanize themselves there. But if anybody is expecting
yes,
that the PDP is going to go there because of him, the person is a dreamer.
Yes, I just want to, because while you spoke, I began to visualize.
Yes.
Just let me create a scenario.
Yes.
Suppose Atiku Abubakar chooses to return to the PDP.
Game on!
No matter how serially he
Game on!
Suppose he chooses to return to
Game on!
Suppose Peter B chooses to
Game on!
My question.
Yes.
Do you think this your diagnosis?
Yes.
This your prognosis?
Yes.
Of PDP may not win the election, but it will have reinvented itself. Do you think PDP could be then in a position
if the both of them return to the PDP, the election will be over by 12 noon and PDP would have won? There is nothing in the APC that would be able to overwhelm the kinds of energy that will be displayed if that happens. But will it happen? I doubt.
That is the last part of this conversation. What will prevent Atiku Abubakar or Peter B from returning to a party and making that party to win election? And making them relevant in national development, because they said national development.
Wait a minute. You know, I know these men. I with due respect to both of them, unless people try to irritate me by making them, I don't really like to, criticize them. Really, I don't. But I will not also refuse to put positions on the table because they are big voices just like me. I think Peter is my greatest sorrow, because I truly believe that this Nigerian nation cannot keep telling Igbo children to wait. And I had hoped that Peter would have seen that the journey of that emancipation did not start with him, and that bigger other Igbo leaders have also contributed in some little way, bringing us from 1966 or the Civil War to where we are now. When the election was done and over and I watched what he was doing, I visited him often and we talk, and I tell him, Peter, you have to answer 2 questions. 1, do you want to go it alone? I've told you how I told him you can go it alone. But you cannot go it alone on those messaging. The messaging must be repaired because it's too shallow. There's nothing there. What is production? That's nonsense. But do you want to go it with the PDP? Because that's a big institution. And I know, I know, and I have been screaming on the inside, and more people in the PDP believe that now, that it is sacrilegious for the PDP not to understand that it has an Igbo debt. And why do we have that debt? Aside whatever people have seen in the country Civil War, we have that. There's a debt. You know, when you have a debt, until you pay it, it remains a debt. It was in the sitting room of Alex Ekweme of blessed memory that this party was taught into existence. And that zone, that southeastern zone, until 2003, had always maxed numbers to the PDP. And truly, we have never given them the ticket. Shall we not be able to recognize that we can't start a second round of musical chair skipping them again. And I thought that, okay, Peter had demonstrated a reasonable 6.something million, which could have even been more if he had been on a big party, and that he should come in, especially when Atiku decided to leave. I didn't think that Peter read it well. I didn't think that Peter understood that there might be sympathy for you, but it cannot immune you from what your rivals have to engage in to get tickets, which is primaries. I didn't understand why Peter thinks that a whole nation or a political party will be waiting for you forever. If he had been able to stabilize his Labour Party, assuming he could, more than likely I could have wagered a bet that that party will win. But nobody joined him in that. He couldn't even manage it. I'm not criticizing him, and I want his friends and when they will start now, they will start to make somebody angry, and one will start to criticize him. I'm not criticizing, I'm just showing how I envisioned it. Okay, today now, Peter Okute Nigeria, as I call him, has carried himself to go and join an organization where he knows is going to rubbish the effort he has been able to achieve on behalf of a race, on behalf of a people, to down tension. I gave myself an Iboni Bukudili. Now, if Peter, with due respect to him, were to stay in that their annoying and confusing contraction called ADC, I can guarantee to you, none of them can beat Atiku in that party. And I don't mean he's going to cheat. You see, consider that Atiku has been at this game for such business. Not business, this effort. So he is going to have acquired experience, skills, know-how. He will defeat them in that primaries. In fact, I told him before he got himself into Atiku himself that if you stay in PDP, you are going to still beat them. If Atiku will contest an election with Yusuf Wike with all of his energy and graga and beat him in the primary, who is the person that's going to beat Atiku in PDP? So Atiku is a factor. I'm not kidding myself. So how would Peter survive there for primaries? Forget that. What about Rotimi Amechi? This is a man who has done the last couple of years. Until the last 2 years, he wasn't in government. Do you know the kind of resources he'll be able to pull? When they get to the place that they start to buy vote, $20,000, $10,000, well, even if you get Peter that money, I know Peter well. In good conscience, Peter can never be happy to be part of that. I say this as a credit to him. He will never be happy. It's not something he would do. I know him. I'm not in his household, I'm not born in his, but I know his essence. Peter will find it extremely unacceptable. So what are you doing in the midst of such people? Okay, if Peter goes to that primaries and then he doesn't win, what will be his reaction? He will be waiting to be given vice president or whatever, right? Where would that now put all the energy of us trying to say, let us shatter the glass ceiling? Well, hey, Peter, we have started looking at Dave Umayo. Yes, we're not going to allow you to frustrate what people like us believe will make this country stable. I don't want the Igbos to be angry in Nigeria. I want them to be happy in Nigeria. I want them to be able to contribute their best to this country. I don't want us to cheat them. I have tried my best to use the similitude and but take it easy. You are like a lion that has a thorn around the teeth or the nose. Those of us who still believe that this country should be ruled by human beings that have sense, we are trying to help you remove that thorn. But you are going to reach the continent, and who's going to allow you to do that? And that's what is on the table now. Because of the carelessness of the managing of the political dynamics, you are practically gotten a situation now where everybody is on each other's necks. Yes, Ashok Bola Tinubu is president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The people, they bullied him until I began to say, okay, let's go back and even say, what are they bullying him for? Are you saying he's not doing the job? Which part of that job is easy? Which one is easy? Which one of them is a flash in the pan? Look!
Okay,
bottom line is...
I want to take a break because you are sinking so much in this conversation. I want to take a break. I want to take a break because when I come back,
yes,
I'll allow you to conclude this part of your input.
Yes.
But then you will address what will happen at the Badr Convention. What does PDP expect?
Okay,
that will be the last part of this conversation. Please stay with us. Well, Otumba Sherumi is still with me here in the studio. The decision by the National Executive Council meeting of the PDP to zone its presidential ticket to the south and matters arising. That is the issue on which we are conversing. Before I took this break, I told Otumba we are going to look at the November 15 or so PDP National Convention. We have created some scenarios. Suppose Atiku Abubakar returns. Suppose Peter Obi returns. My guest says, please forget about that election. It is over before noon. PDP will not be coasting to victory. In fact, would have coasted to victory. But that is a scenario we are painting here in the studio. Atiku is still in the ADC. Peter Obi is undecided. Last statement I can quote is that he said he was still in the Labour Party. But Labour Party is shredded, if not torn right in the middle. So the Badr Convention in November for the PDP is not just crucial, it is critical. Otumba, what will the PDP make of that critical convention?
You know, there are two things to worry about before we get to Ibadan. The first is, have they taken care of the immediate gladiators who must not get the impression that whereas you are trying to remove the hand of some big people, you want to now go and fall into the lap of another singularity of another so-called big person. What do I mean? You know, I mean, if we do not accommodate the shades of leadership here, I mean, for instance, why should they set up a zoning committee and then without telling people, they come and say they have gone to do a microzoning committee? Who told them that? Who are the stakeholders that sat to microzone? What are they going to do about the Southeast with its challenges? Or will there not be people that can participate? There is a jaw that must take place at the back before you can have a good convention. Otherwise, yes, you may try to win alone and you may lose all. And you know the funny thing? The funny thing is that it is a make or mar time for PDP, at least for the purposes of 2027. If they get to Ibadan, and we get the impression that some guy sitting in Oyo calling that, let me rephrase because they say I'm always too harsh. If we get the impression that only one leader is playing the script of he has to be the one to manage and manipulate everything, he doesn't have enough experience to do that in this country and in this party, and he doesn't have the long standing in the party to be able to do that. People who have longer standing in the party will resist that. If they can hopefully call themselves take care of the small sticking points. Go to Ibadan, go to Sokoto, go to Badugry, wherever they like to go, and go and get a fit for purpose executive. Not playing to the gallery, not somebody wanting to take the PDP platform to go and be negotiating, not wanting to tie the PDP down so or tie it down in such a way you want to get a fait accompli for Nigerians. If they truly want the party to be back, or at least to be on his way back, then Ibadan will work for them. But if they desire to be clever by half, I'm afraid a lot of people are waiting for Ibadan to finally say we've given it our all, we are not doing again. And if that happens, I can guarantee you a great number of them will go to APC. Some of them may just say, okay, let's go and try it out with ADC, and the result will be it will be an empty house. We created the limitation of 36 states in Nigeria, created the delimitation of 774 local governments, created the delimitation of 126,000 polling wards. We did all of this so that we can build from the bottom up. The PDP cannot run a big organization of almost 27, 28, going to 28 years on an assumption that one person is the party in the state. How much more you now want to run an assumption? How is the party international? Until if you don't build the top coach, the head of the train, which is the party, you will not even be able to pull all the coaches over the line.
Otumba, let me tell you what the NEC also said. They said they will retain the zoning arrangement in the national executive. Let me tell you the gossip, not the fact. Damagu is said to be a Wike sympathizer.
Is Wike not a human being?
Senator Anyanwu is said to be a Wike sympathizer.
Is Wike not a human being?
If those people are retained, has Wike not really taken over PDP?
Okay, thank you very, 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 very much. I'm not aware that Damagu is a Wike sympathizer. No. As a matter of fact, politics. As a matter of fact, Damagu has always been an Atiku sympathizer. One of the grounds he has is that the only one time good came to him, it is the Atiku people that he had been sympathizing for and supporting all the that are against him. That was how they lost him. And even if you ask me, if you know Ayaw very well, Ayaw is even much closer to what's his name? Bukola Saraki than to Wike. Ayaw, anybody will have some access to Wike at some point, even all of us, because Wike made himself that available for us all. Ayaw wanted to go and run secretaryship because he did not insist that he should resign. Because he said me, so I left at his discretion. He went and ran. He wanted to run for governor. Everybody abandoned him. Now they were fighting him because of Wike, because he stood firm and did not do maybe what may have made Wike happy. Now Ayaw then goes to do election. They all abandoned. There's nobody I didn't beg among them that look, this is not about Ayaw. We need to get back to the party in the southeast. They didn't answer. Ayaw loses an election. Wike, who probably felt it was done in by the party, and Ayaw, being secretary, will carry some of the flags, was the first to say, okay, I will not be watching you. Let us now repair and rebuild. Why does Wike seem to have the ability to repair relationship, and all the others seem to have the intention of staying on the vexatious issue forever? This was how I was begging them when the crisis in the river started. Gentlemen, you are not handling this crisis well. You can't be looking at the numbers and be saying you want to be irritating Wike, instigating him, instigating them. Two people are fighting, you are instigating them. In the end, you are going to lose out. But in the end, what happened? Is Fubara now the governor of Rivers State? You see, he's sitting in opposition. If you tell them, why don't you let us look at it this way? The next thing is, Wike is sponsoring. If the person that Wike is sponsoring will be sometimes saying, no, sir, we can't do it this way. They are being sponsored by their own friends. You know, it's like you want to make somebody a devil on behalf of everybody. But you know, that is the story of life. Jesus Christ had to die so that you people can now be continuing to do what we shall be praying in the name of our Father, forgive us. You commit the same sin again, our Father, forgive us. You want a sacrificial lamb, and I have said it in the public before. PDP, if you think Wike is your sacrificial lamb,
let's take it to the cross.
Let him take it to the cross.
Thank you very much. October, show me. I keep insisting that he is a PDP strategist, a very deep thinker, that is truth, and I think he wishes his own party very well.
I wish Nigeria very well.
Very well. Honestly, I think he does. I've been conversing with him in the last 59 minutes, not even 55, authorized by my producer. And the issue has been zoning by PDP, matters arising. Has PDP resolved its crisis? Can the PDP reinvent itself? Will the PDP do well in the 2027 election? He's telling you his mind. Bet it, in fact. Take your pick, and I think you can bet on it. All remains for me to thank Otumba Shengushomi.
Our leader, be this way. We not get our no down. Next time you call her,
thank you very much. And then the conversation continue tomorrow, after, and my name never changes. It's Mwabweze Njoko. Can I say good morning?